Hey, what's up, nerds? It's Paul here at Radio Free Hammer Hall. Today, I want to talk about the Battlescroll update that just dropped today, and I got some things to say about it. But I want to just be upfront first with the positives that I see that have come out of this. Um, Number one, I think they really were very successful in identifying what the problems were both on the upside and on the downside. So the things that needed nerfing, they definitely identified those. The things that needed a boost, they really successfully identified those. Um, I think there's probably arguments for a couple of things, but like they get an A on that part, right? They really definitely did that very well. Um, I will also say they um, did a brave thing, frankly, in exploring some new design space for balancing the game. And all of this has sparked a lot of conversation about balancing the game and whether this is good or bad and blah, 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 whatever. So I'm just here to be a talking head with my opinion and um, my considerations of this after talking to a lot of people that are smarter than me and kind of what I'm coming up with here. So, if you haven't seen the new Battlescroll update, essentially what it does is give you a list of war scrolls that you get an extra victory point when you kill them. With the exceptions that Megagargants, you get 2 additional victory points, and units that are reinforced, you get 1 additional victory point for each time that unit is reinforced. So, uh, now to address the problems of the underperformers, what they did was they have a list of armies that get an extra victory point every time they kill one of the units on this list. I'm not going to go through the list because I mean it's not super long, but it's all of like the bad actors in the scene right now, with maybe a couple of exceptions. Like I was surprised that um, the Lumineth archers were not on the list, and I'm not sure why they didn't do that. Um, anyway, uh, I think there's probably an argument for Kragnos being on that list, uh, but he hasn't been really like rolling around the meta really hard until recently. So anyway, um, let's dive into what my criticisms of this are. So functionally, what we're doing is we're creating this system where if you are playing certain overpowered units, you're getting extra victory points when you kill them. And if you are playing an underpowered army, you are getting even more victory points for killing those things. Now, this does nothing for those struggling armies against mid-tier armies, which they're still probably going to lose to. So I think that is sort of problem number one, is that it doesn't make those armies really end up with like a better record, because I don't think this is a big enough bonus for them to actually win games outside of like corner cases. Um, and I think overall, like the it's not enough to win games thing is really where the problem lies with this. We've already had a version of this mechanic in play for a while now, right? And that's monsters, you get a bonus VP for killing them. And there is the battle tactic Bring It Down, so you can get an additional 2 victory points and plus 1 more if you do that with a monster. So we have this in play already. Has this been a deterrent for people using monsters? No, it has not. Monsters are everywhere. A couple of extra victory points in most games is not going to matter. And that's really the problem here. There are some funny corner case situations that can come up with this. For example, a unit of 6 Dracothian Guard, if you use the bring it down thing, I'm tired, I apologize, battle tactic, that one. So you use bring it down, targeting a unit of 6 Dracothian Guard. They're monsters. And let's say you are using one of the lower tier armies, let's say Skaven, that get an extra bonus point, and you're doing the killing with a monster for bring it down. That's going to score you a total of 8 victory points for killing one unit. Pretty funny. Pretty much never going to happen, but pretty funny. Like, you need these bizarre corner cases to get like numbers that matter. Like, if say somehow a Skaven army can table a Sons of Bahamut army, they're going to make more points off of killing their enemy than they are off of the objectives. But Skaven aren't going to table Sons of Bahamut. They're like, that's the problem here, is that this is basically like a win more mechanic. If you are already able to take these guys down, now you get a victory point for it. But if you can't take them down, you're still shit out of luck. Like, this isn't taking anybody and lifting them up to a place where they can compete more against these armies and these overpowered units. It's not doing that. It is giving more points to the people that can already beat them. Are there going to be a few games that are a tight squeeze and these bonus points are the deciding factor in the game? Sure, it's going to happen. One of the other things that I will note is that there is a second problem with this, in that by doing it through victory points, the value of this varies depending on what battle plan you're using. Simply put, some battle plans have more victory points scored on objectives than others do. So you can be playing on one of the battle plans that is, score 1, score 2, score more, and you have max of 3 victory points a turn plus your battle tactics, and that extra couple of points that your opponent might have sitting in their army is more valuable. But in the case of say Veins of Gur, where you've got a potential 15 points just in the last battle round, just on objectives, like the score 1, score 2, score more, like your max on battle points in the entire game is 15. And in Veins of Gur, you're scoring potentially 15 in one turn. So the weight of this varies depending on what the battle plan is and how it's scored. So, and in addition, there's one battle plan where it doesn't matter at all. Battle points aren't involved. Just hold all the objectives. I forget which battle plan that's called, but yeah. Just control all the objectives and you win. Suddenly this points difference doesn't matter at all. Other criticisms that I can give you for it is that this is really match play specific on how it helps to balance the game. This is doing nothing to help balance problems in Path to Glory or narrative play or whatever else. And that's a real problem. Like, this is a total blank on making narrative play more fun. So, yeah, I mean, that's about what I got on this right now. I mean, I give them props for, what they did, right? Like, I got to give credit where credit's due. They identified the problems, both the overperformers and the underperformers, and they adjusted those things. And there's very little at the edges of those that we could say, oh, maybe you should have done this. And there's definitely nothing in there that I saw that I was like, why is this in here? The only thing I can think on that is maybe the Megagargants being 2 points each is a little much, because they're just underperforming compared to where they were like 6 months ago. But that can always change. They're a strong army. And, it's good to spark conversation, and it's good to explore new design space when you're trying to solve problems. So they discovered this other lever that they can pull, and they pulled it, and they want to see what happens. And that's good. I want them to do more of stuff like that. I'd like them to play test it more first. I'd like to see it run by more highly skilled players that are going to call out the problems successfully and give them good feedback. So, it's possible. Like, there is a world where this fix is good. The big problem is the battle pack we currently have. And I think there's just problems. It's, I think, not going to do anything to change what armies are winning. It's not going to do anything for the underperforming armies to actually bring them up. This is going to be potentially a deciding factor in close games with the overperforming armies. And that's a real, like, edge case scenario. That's like a really small push on the game environment in general. So I really, as I said, I've got some criticisms. I think there's probably going to be TOs that just say, screw it, we're not using this. You think even with using it, I think the bottom line problem is that it is not actually going to change game outcomes very frequently. What, maybe like 1% of game outcomes? 1% of game outcomes with the offending armies. And, it's a corner case. This is predominantly a change that does nothing, but it's adding more rules complexity. It's adding a new layer of rules. It's, it's great to explore new design space, but when you do that, now you also are involving more headspace for the players. And that's a problem. Anyway, guys, that's about all I got for now. I'm exhausted, so the video quality here has not been great. I'm just doing this holding my phone and staring blankly into my own eyes in the screen. I'm holding it with my hand, so the screen is probably shaking like crazy. I apologize to all of you that are actually sitting and watching this as opposed to listening to me, which I know is not the best either. Anyway, guys, I got some other videos lined up. I know I've been kind of out of it for a while now. Just haven't had the video making mojo. But yeah, I think I might be getting back into it. I got some ideas, and I will see you guys again soon.